Hello, friends. We're about to explore 7 life-changing habits that transformed my life in just 1 week. Yes, you heard that correctly. 1 week. It might sound unbelievable, but these aren't the typical tips you've heard 100 times. These are raw, honest, and deeply impactful practices that I incorporated into my daily routine. I experienced challenges, breakthroughs, and incredible growth, and the transformation was nothing short of remarkable. I'm excited to share these habits with you because they've had such a profound impact on my life, and I believe they can do the same for you. Whether you're aiming to boost your productivity, improve your mental health, or simply make positive changes in your daily life, these habits are the tools you need to get started. So, grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. Stick around until the end because these aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical, actionable steps you can start implementing today. Along the way, I'll share personal stories and insights from my journey, offering you an unfiltered look at how these habits worked for me. Without further ado, let's begin. The first habit that revolutionized my life was waking up early. Now, let me be honest, I was never a morning person. My bed was my sanctuary, and I was a serial snooze button hitter. Mornings used to feel rushed and chaotic, leaving me starting the day off balanced. But when I decided to give early mornings a try, everything changed. I began by setting my alarm for 5 a.m. The initial days were tough. Dragging myself out of bed felt like a monumental task, and I often wondered if it was worth it. But by day 3, something magical started to happen. I began to cherish the stillness and tranquility of early mornings. There's something extraordinary about being awake before the world stirs, surrounded by peace. These extra hours allowed me to prioritize things I never had time for. I'd start my day with light exercise, simple stretching or a brisk jog, which energized me for the day ahead. I also took a few minutes to meditate and set intentions, which brought clarity and positivity to my mindset. One standout moment for me was watching a sunrise from my balcony. The colors shifting across the sky filled me with gratitude and a sense of calm I hadn't felt in years. Waking up early may not suit everyone, but I encourage you to try it for just 1 week. Even waking 15 minutes earlier than usual can make a difference. It's not just about gaining more hours in the day. It's about creating intentional and mindful mornings that set a positive tone for everything else. The second habit that truly made a difference in my life was committing to daily exercise. Let me be honest with you, exercise wasn't always my thing. I used to come up with every excuse imaginable. I'm too tired, I don't have time, or the classic, I'll start tomorrow. Sound familiar? One day, though, I decided it was time to stop procrastinating. I committed to moving my body every single day for just 1 week, and the results were incredible. I started small, 20 minutes a day, with a mix of yoga, jogging, and strength exercises. Keeping it varied made it enjoyable and less monotonous. The first few days were challenging. I was sore, and I felt drained. But I reminded myself of my goal, to feel better both physically and mentally. By the 4th day, something clicked. I woke up feeling energized, my mood improved, and I was noticeably more positive. Exercise became more than just about burning calories or building muscle. It became my time to focus on myself. One memorable morning, I went for a jog on a crisp, sunny day. As I ran, I felt free and clear-headed, as if the worries of the world had melted away. It wasn't just about fitness, it was about reconnecting with myself. I also tried yoga for the first time, and it was a game changer. At first I thought, I'm not flexible enough for this, but I soon realized it wasn't about perfection. It was about being present, breathing deeply, and listening to my body. Yoga gave me more than physical benefits. It taught me mindfulness and self-awareness. Incorporating exercise into my daily routine transformed not just my body, but my mindset. I discovered that prioritizing my physical health directly impacted my mental well-being. If you're hesitant about starting, don't worry. Begin with just a few minutes of movement each day. Dance, walk, or do a light workout. Over time, you'll notice the positive changes. The third habit that profoundly impacted me was journaling. I used to think it was something only introspective or overly creative people did. With a busy schedule, I didn't see how I could fit it in, let alone benefit from it. But within 1 week of consistent journaling, I was hooked. It became a cornerstone of my personal growth journey. Every night before bed, I spent just 10 minutes writing. I started simple, using a plain notebook and pen. I'd jot down basic reflections, what went well during the day, what challenges I faced, and how I felt. At first, it felt awkward, but as the days went by, I started writing more deeply about my goals, fears, and dreams. One powerful moment came when I wrote about a particularly stressful day at work. Putting my thoughts on paper allowed me to process my emotions better and come up with constructive ways to handle similar situations in the future. It was like having a conversation with myself, uncovering insights I hadn't noticed before. I also added a gratitude section to my journal. Every day, I'd list 3 things I was thankful for, no matter how small. This practice shifted my focus from what was lacking to what was abundant in my life. Over time, this small act brought more positivity into my days. Journaling taught me to reflect, process, and celebrate progress. If you've never tried it, start with a simple practice. Don't worry about grammar or structure, just write. It's not about what you put down, it's about giving yourself space to explore your thoughts and emotions. The fourth habit that had a transformative impact on my life was mindful eating. Like many people, I used to rush through meals while scrolling on my phone or multitasking at work. I rarely paid attention to what I was eating, and as a result, I often overate and felt sluggish. When I decided to try mindful eating for 1 week, it completely changed my relationship with food. Mindful eating is about being fully present during your meals. It's about savoring each bite, noticing the flavors, textures, and even the smells of your food. To get started, I made a commitment to remove all distractions during meals. No phone, no TV, no laptop. Instead, I set a calming atmosphere, focusing entirely on the experience of eating. One of the first things I noticed was how much more I enjoyed my food. Flavors I'd previously overlooked became vibrant and exciting. For example, the crunch of fresh vegetables or the sweetness of a ripe apple became moments of simple joy. I also realized I was eating slower, which allowed me to notice when I was full and mentally and physically recovered. A particularly memorable moment was with a bowl of oatmeal. Normally, I'd eat it without much thought, but This time, I savored every bite, the creamy texture, the hint of honey, and the warmth it brought on a cold morning. This small act of mindfulness turned an ordinary meal into a grounding and positive experience. Beyond the sensory experience, mindful eating helped me recognize my emotional connection to food. I became more aware of times when I was eating out of boredom, stress, or habit rather than genuine hunger. This awareness allowed me to address the underlying emotions instead of turning to snacks. Mindful eating not only improved my digestion and energy levels, but also deepened my gratitude for the nourishment food provides. If you want to try this habit, start with one meal a day. Remove distractions, take a few deep breaths before starting, and truly focus on each bite. You'll be amazed at how much this simple practice can enhance your well-being. The fifth habit that made a massive difference was reducing screen time. Like many people, I had developed a habit of spending hours scrolling social media, binge-watching shows, or constantly checking emails. It was draining my energy, disrupting my sleep, and leaving me feeling disconnected from the real world. I decided to set boundaries for myself. For 1 week, I limited my non-essential screen time to just 1 hour a day. This meant no mindless scrolling or late-night Netflix binges. It wasn't easy at first. I often found myself instinctively reaching for my phone, but I stayed committed. The first thing I noticed was how much extra time I had. Suddenly, I had hours to rediscover hobbies I'd forgotten. I picked up a book, started sketching, and even tried cooking new recipes. One evening, instead of watching TV, I went for a walk in the park. The fresh air and connection with nature left me feeling refreshed in a way screens never had. Limiting screen time also significantly improved my sleep. Previously, I'd scroll through my phone in bed, which made it harder to fall asleep and left me feeling groggy the next day. By replacing screens with relaxing bedtime rituals like reading or meditating, I found myself falling asleep faster and waking up more energized. One of the most impactful moments was when I spent an afternoon at a cafe with just a notebook and pen. Without any digital distractions, I felt a sense of peace and clarity that I hadn't experienced in a long time. This intentional break from technology allowed me to reconnect with myself and my surroundings. If you're looking to limit screen time, start small. Set a timer for an hour less each day and use that time to engage in activities you enjoy. The goal isn't to eliminate screens completely. It's to create a healthier balance and be more intentional with how you spend your time. The sixth habit that profoundly shifted my perspective was practicing gratitude. It's such a simple habit, yet it has the power to transform how you see the world. Before incorporating gratitude into my routine, I often focused on what was missing or what wasn't going well. But taking just a few moments each day to acknowledge the positives made me realize how much I had to be thankful for. I started by writing down 3 things I was grateful for every evening before bed. At first, it felt a bit forced. Things like, "I'm grateful for my health," or "I'm thankful for a sunny day." But as the days went by, my entries began more specific and heartfelt. I began noticing small, beautiful moments throughout my day, like a kind sound from a stranger or the peaceful sound of rain on my window. One particularly memorable moment was when I wrote about a conversation I had with an old friend. We reconnected after years of losing touch, and reflecting on that experience reminded me of the importance of relationships and the joy they bring. Gratitude also helped me shift my mindset during challenging times. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, I started looking for lessons or silver linings. For instance, after a tough day at work, I wrote about how grateful I was for the support of my colleagues. This practice didn't erase the difficulties, but it helped me approach them with a more positive outlook. Incorporating gratitude into my routine brought a sense of peace and contentment to my life. If you're new to this practice, start small. Write down just one thing you're thankful for each day, or simply reflect on it mentally before you fall asleep. Over time, you'll find yourself naturally focusing on the positives, even in tough situations. The seventh and final habit that had a lasting impact on my life was decluttering and organizing my space. Our physical environment plays a huge role in our mental state, and I hadn't realized how much clutter was affecting my focus and mood until I decided to tackle it head-on. I started with a simple goal: dedicate 15 minutes a day to decluttering. Each day, I chose a small area, a drawer, a shelf, or even just my desk, and sorted through it. I asked myself, do I use this? Does it bring me joy? Does it have a purpose? If the answer was no, I let it go. The process was surprisingly therapeutic. With each item I discarded or donated, I felt a little lighter. It wasn't just about creating a tidy space. It was about letting go of things that no longer served me. One of the most satisfying moments was when I tackled my wardrobe. I donated clothes I hadn't worn in years and organized what remained in a way that made everything easy to find. Mornings became less stressful because I no longer had to dig through piles of clothes to find what I needed. Decluttering also gave me a renewed appreciation for the items I chose to keep. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by excess, I felt a sense of gratitude for the things that truly added value to my life. Beyond the physical space, organizing helped me create a more intentional routine. I used the extra time and clarity I gained to plan my days more effectively, which boosted my productivity and reduced stress. If you're feeling overwhelmed by clutter, start small. Pick one area to focus on and set a timer for 15 minutes. You'll be amazed at how much progress you can make in such a short time. Decluttering isn't just about having a neat home. It's about creating a space that supports your goals and brings you peace. Thank you for tuning in to Unstoppable Tranquil Vibes. Stay curious, work hard, and never stop exploring the possibilities.